The Dorm Disorder podcast contains real stories, adult language, and occasional chaos. Some content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Now on to the episode. Welcome back to the Dorm Disorder podcast. This is part 2.
That leads me into a nice segue. Because emotionally, going to boarding school is quite a change. And you started, Girard folks, when we went there were no new kids after 7th grade. None. Slight caveat, we had started letting kids in 8th grade with our 8th grade class.
Get that enrollment up.
Yeah. The numbers were going down. But you started boarding school in the 10th grade.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't honestly imagine. I think I was more emotionally flexible starting at 11 years old. But you're a teenager, and not even in the first year of high school, depending on where you lived in Jersey. Some of them start in 10th, I know. But how did that feel to start boarding school so late?
It was hard. There was a select few of us. Most kids went to the lower school, like they grew up with each other from kindergarten to 8th grade, and then in 9th grade they got like the international kids came, and kids on scholarships came to start high school. So there was like 7 or 8 of us that were like the 10th grade transfers.
Wow.
So I'm actually very close with one of the other 10th grade transfers that year. We're like best friends to this day. She's up in Boston. But it was challenging because not only were you not one of the lower school kids that had grown up together, but you're now not even one of the kids that were here last year in 9th grade. So people are curious, you're kind of under a looking glass, like, you went to public school? Like, like, you went to public school?
You were
like,
kind of
like, yeah. And I mean, there was not very many kids of color there in general. So it was a challenge. It had to do a lot of soul searching. I've always been like an introspective. I was that weird kid that was like in 1st grade, like crying to my parents at night, like, you're gonna die one day. Like, I really was. So I was always just like this deep, really like Wednesday Addams kid. Like, I'm a Scorpio, so very like on brand for me.
I was married to one of them. Yeah, that sounds about
yeah,
right.
you know what I mean? So yeah, just realizing like, all right, let's do it all in. Like, I've never been afraid to start new. I've gone to a bunch of schools. Like I said, I went to camp by myself. I knew I wanted more. And so I was gonna go after it.
How much did you cry?
The first week, like every day in my dorm room, like like tears on the pillow. But then, had to boss up and not let them see your weakness.
Yeah.
What was it like having to share a room with a stranger? Like, how was that for you?
Hard. It was very interesting at first because I shared with my sister when I was younger, and then I had my own room, and then to share with a stranger is challenging. And that first year we had a very small room. It was just like bed, desk, closet, one little walkway in the middle.
Sounds like Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it sounds like
some
our
of the
rooms.
rooms were a lot bigger. So as I was on low man on the totem pole, 10th grade transfer. They weren't worried about me. And she was a 9th grader. And so it was challenging just having to learn how to communicate, learning how to keep your stuff neat, learning, because from time to time, kids would, things would go missing in the dorms, and being like, you didn't lock the door. Like, you know what I mean? I had $60 in my desk. Like, was it you? Was it somebody else? So
rich people still.
There's rich ladies that steal Gucci purses and they can buy them. So
what the hell is going on?
Well, at least we know they're petty as we are.
I wasn't thinking about stealing. I was thinking like, are they leaving like dry toothpaste spit in the sink? Like, that's kind of, or they didn't make their bed or leave their clothes laying around.
Well, I mean, no one was checking for that. Like, we won't get in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, like, it wasn't military school.
I mean, but
and we had communal bathrooms. Like, we had a few in each hallway. So we weren't responsible for cleaning bathrooms or anything.
So your bathroom wasn't in your room?
No.
Okay.
My senior year, I did have an apartment with 2 other young ladies, and we did have our own bathroom, sitting area, bedroom. So that was a little different. We did have to clean that bathroom. But
It's still kind of similar to at least what the boys went through.
Yeah.
I don't think the girls. Sorry, fourth wall here. Did the girls have to clean their own bathroom? When
So
they had
your senior year,
apartments.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Jill Bacons, everybody. Thank you. She's always gonna be Jill Bacon. I'm a little stuck on this. Rich people stealing from people. Like, and now it makes sense if you think about, I don't know, socioeconomics now.
Mhm.
Rich people are stealing from people. Par for the course. I guess this is something to learn young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think part of it's probably like the thrill of, the endorphins. Oh, am I going to get caught? Or, there's plenty of reasons why people steal.
So we had a code. We had like
Yeah,
we
I
had
was
like
think-
a
I
pin
was thinking
pad
about that.
to like it wasn't electric. It was like,
Mhm.
but they would give us the code to get into our rooms. Our rooms
Oh.
would lock once we shut them. Did y'all have that, or was it lock and key?
Lock and key, like old school keys. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered that. Like, I didn't think about that until we had this discussion.
Yeah,
right
yeah, I
now.
forgot all
The
about it
fact
till we
that
had this
used to,
discussion.
like,
Yep.
have a little lock, and it was a 5-digit little button thing. You had to click, click, click.
Yep. But it didn't matter because if they were in somebody else's room that was connected to yours and you didn't lock the bathroom door, they could
Mhm.
just walk in. It's like one of those hotel rooms where
Okay.
you can have the adjoining
Mhm.
rooms. So 2 of the rooms were adjoining.
Right.
And then I'd come to my room and like people would just be sitting in my room, like reading my Sports Illustrated. It's like, how the hell you
And
get
lock
in
your
here?
bathroom.
Yeah,
That's
you
wild.
gotta lock the bathroom.
So I want to go back a little bit to the name of your school, which is quite interesting because we had talked about at Girard. Well, I don't know if we actually mentioned this one particular detail. Clergy is not allowed on the campus of Girard College at all. Like, there was times it has happened, but there's times that certain people's parents was like, "Oh, my uncle is a reverend. Can he come to my graduation?" They were like, "Shut up! Don't talk about that." Because no,
Yeah.
by the will that
Yep.
established the school, no clergy allowed. But we got your school that's out in Wyoming, and it's a seminary. Leads us to believe there's some religious parts to it. So why don't you break that down? Let us know, like, why Wyoming Seminary is the name.
Right. So that's a good question. So I remember when I first was telling people, like, okay, like I'm, going away to a different school, it's this name. They were like, your parents are sending you to become a priest all the way in Wyoming? Like, that's wild. Like, what's going on? Like, were you bad? Like, it was like military school. They were like, what did you do? You're getting sent to boarding school? I was like, no, it's like a good educational opportunity. So it's called Wyoming Seminary because it's in the Wyoming Valley of Pennsylvania, that geographic area. It's called the Wyoming Valley. And then I guess it had a religious affiliation. I think it has a Presbyterian base, some sort of Protestant basis. And we didn't have to go to church. We did have like a chapel at the end of every year, kind of just like a summer announcement and, sing a few hymns and call it a day. We did have 2 reverends that were employed by the school, but they were like coaches, and we did have to take a Bible class to graduate. But it was more like learning the tenets of Christianity and learning how to maneuver a Bible versus like indoctrination. If you've ever taken like a world religions class, it was kind of along those same lines where you're learning about the religion, but not essentially how to walk as a member of that religion.
That's pretty cool.
It
I
is.
mean,
It
like,
is.
just, I'm always happy that there are schools like this for us. Boarding schools, places of higher education, and no matter how about they come about, I'm pretty happy for that. But what is the impact that had on you, especially to become an educator today?
So I love the education that I got. Very now I'm about to pull out all my educational buzzwords. But the rigor was for the first time in my life. Like I said, I had to study. The hardest courses I ever took were in high school. Like college was a breeze. I messed up my own chance in college. Like my journey towards graduating, even with my bachelor's, was a long one. But the courses were interesting. They really challenge you. You had the opportunity to really dive in deep. Like, I have an English degree for my bachelor's, and some of the classes I took for English, like novel to film class, a class on books that are most banned. My favorite class I've ever taken to this day is I took a class called Creative Spirit, and that was AP Art History and Music Theory.
Oh, okay.
And what I learned in that course, like, I've utilized in museums all around the world. We're those people now that me and my husband, we do European summer. So, you know,
That's right.
so yeah. And his story's even, even a little crazier than mine, that where he came from. So, just working hard and grateful for the opportunity. It helped shape my leadership vision and my vision of what academic institutions can be.
Mm.
So I lean towards project-based, towards a flipped classroom model, giving kids the opportunity to explore their own interests outside of class, than me being like more of a facilitator. I teach English as a second language to kindergarten through third grade. So I really do have a lot of flexibility in my curriculum. I'm currently writing the curriculum for K-3 ML education in my district. July 31st, I'm done my master's in educational leadership in Montclair. So yeah, these past 2 years have
That's
been
awesome.
wild. I had a baby and everything. I was in labor, like finishing up papers. So yeah, my educational experience has shaped what I view education can be, especially from a public education standpoint, that kids that go to public school can receive the same level of education as students that have the opportunities to get elite educations. We just have to do better towards inspiring and meeting, the whole student. It's not a one size fits all, kind of getting kids ready to like head to the factories, as public education kind of started
Right.
out.
Right. But where are you teaching at now?
So I teach for Pennsauken Public Schools.
See, we're looking at you, Martino.
I and it's been a wonderful experience. I've taught in other districts, and I'm very much enjoying where the district is going now. Kind of, we've shifted with new central administration, and very much a student achievement focus as we move forward, and that's the goal.
And what grade are you teaching?
Kindergarten through third grade.
And you also taught in Trenton.
Yes, I taught in Trenton for 5 years. I taught fifth grade.
So one of my non-Gerard BFF that I grew up with, her parents both are veterans and have retired for a while now from Trenton also. The Winogrons, they both taught in the
Okay.
Trenton School District. So you are a veteran now of two pretty rough school districts, though.
Yeah.
Now, even though those school districts are tough, even today, I'm sure there's a lot of bright kids that probably could use the opportunity like you did, and you wanted to speak to that. So why don't you go take a minute on that now?
Absolutely. So, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because both my parents work in Trenton as well. My dad's an administrator,
Okay.
a product of Trenton Central High School, and my mom's a longtime teacher in Trenton. But absolutely. So there's many students that I've had throughout the years, students that I have today that, like I said, the students that I service were either going back to Trenton from low socioeconomic status. English might not be their first language. They might not have two parents at home. I've had students who's had siblings die in gun violence.
Yeah.
Parent got deported, and then they're back in class the next day, and kind of having to pick up those pieces. And how can you learn? You might be the next Einstein. How can you learn when you're stressed that, your dad just disappeared overnight? Some guys came in and got him, and you have no idea if you're ever going to see him again.
Yeah.
And you're a little kid. So my first year teaching in Trenton, my fiance at the time, he passed away. He had a blood clot in his brainstem. And I had a student, I'll never forget him, Alex Kamara from Liberia, who, when I came back to class, he was a third grader. He looked at me and he said, my maiden name is Ons. He said, Miss Ons, life is hard. And this is an 8-year-old telling me that, from what he has seen coming from Liberia to now being a student in Trenton, and just had never met his dad, didn't know if he was going to see him again, So I kind of went off track here, but
No.
but yeah, just many of the students I've had are very bright. And when you see their potential and the level that they produce, even with all these other things, all this other baggage and trauma that they're carrying, as an educational institution, the least we can do is provide a place where we can not only nurture them academically, but also emotionally. You know, I have a strong belief that our public schools should be a beacon of light, not only for students, but for the entire community as a whole.
Agreed.
And uplift the community. And so I think we start there. And then if we can nurture kids, nurture communities, I think that our public schools can do better. But also I think that kids such as myself that are so much more advanced and could really benefit from really excellent academic programs and opportunities, have those opportunities to go to these institutions, to have the chance to get an elite academic education. And it takes know-how. It takes parents knowing that these opportunities exist. It takes guidance counselors with the resources to support students in, you know, kind of funneling and noticing talent, and then having the opportunities kind of guide families and guide students towards going down these paths that are going to allow them access to potentially K-12 institutions such as this, or even higher education.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. One of the, I guess, probably a reason I don't really talk about, but one of the reasons why I wound up going to Girard, it's my second grade teacher, Miss Brown. I hope you're still alive today, Miss Brown, but that was a long time ago. She was amazing. Miss Brown basically went to my mom, was like, and I was in Catholic school like yourself. You mentioned that you had gone to Catholic school. She was like, he's too smart. He's not challenged. Send him to Girard. It'll probably be better for him. And it was. And it was actually more academically challenging, because at least where I was coming from at Catholic school, a 60 was all I needed to pass. At Girard, we needed a 70. That was a D. That was a passing grade. So just from that, changing the mathematical numbers, I was in the same situation like you. Oh, I guess I gotta study now. I gotta work a little bit hard.
77 was a C.
A
C minus. 77. Damn.
That was a lot. Yeah. I was so happy when I got to college and could go back to D's being 60s again.
Yeah, man. When my kids started going to school, it was like, yeah, I got a 70, it's a C. A 70 is a C? What the hell is happening?
D.
Yeah. D. Low D.
Yeah, you just made it.
Just get your teeth.
Yeah.
Get that failing grade. Yeah, I mean, I wound up Girard, had nothing to do with academics. Nobody looked at me and said, hey, he's too smart to be here. It was more or less, my mom just didn't have the capacity to raise me, right? So that's how I wound up at Girard. So I do, as we get close to the end of this episode, I do want to just encourage people who are in that same situation. If there's single parents out there that are struggling to make ends meet, trying to get your bills, you got to work night shift, you got to find somebody to watch your kid, I really encourage them to contact the admissions office at Girard College. We can supply that information through this episode and reach out for sure.
Or looking for scholarships at a place like Wyoming Seminary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a couple of topics I want to go over. Actually, it's kind of messed me up a little bit. Sorry. One of the things we want to talk about is your Instagram. You have a nice, solid little thing going on. Now I got to get some. We got back from our cruising at Thursday. Had to get our kids. We're staying at sister-in-law's and get back into the Philadelphia area. When I tell you, I walked in the door at 1:55. At 2 p.m. I was on a work call. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I basically transitioned right back into work pretty much instantly has a lot to do with what I do and how busy it keeps me. So I've been wanting to get all this stuff into TikTok, and that is my thing. Mm-hmm. But your thing is pretty cool. Okay. I ain't gonna lie. Balling on a budget.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago how to do it, and So my Instagram, the Wanderlust _ mama _. So I basically share ways that you can plan trips, whether they're multi-generational, whether you're taking your kids, whether it's a vacation, and how to do it on a budget. Me and my husband met and vibed on the fact that we both came from not a lot and we both love to travel. I've had some awesome experiences. We actually vibed how we first got together was he admired the fact that I hiked the Inca Trail in Peru for 4 days to Machu Picchu.
Wow.
And that was like one of the most life-changing things I've ever done. So yeah, I teach you how to find cheap flights, how to get free hotel stays, and things everybody can do. Like give your kids some experiences. Like
Yeah.
I have so many of my students like, what do you do over summer? Like, oh, I was just watching videos on my tablet. I was just on my iPad, like on the phone. And I understand people, work with what they got. But I've even had teachers like, how are y'all always going somewhere? We took my son to the Netherlands when he was 3 months old. Yeah, so we're going to Italy next week. I found flights for $300. Like anyone, no, let me not say anyone. Many people, that is something that they can aspire and be able to save up to doing to give themselves or their kids some experiences. It's not only for rich people.
And it's not as bad as people may think it is. It's the expense
Mhm.
is not too much for most. Even in this economy,
Mhm.
I understand people is hurting, but there's ways to make it work,
Mhm.
whether domestic or international. But there's ways to make it work to give kids a more immersive experience childhood.
Absolutely.
Somebody else going to Italy.
Yeah, I didn't find flights for $300.
He wasn't following me then.
Should have got up on that.
Yeah.
I do want to just touch on one of our previous guests who did attend Gerard, and you two connected
Mhm.
on a group chat or a group that was made for a similar experience. Just curious if you wanted to kind of touch on that and how you
Yeah,
you
so we
how we
actually
kinda met you.
met on like a mom chat. There's like
Okay.
different apps out there. It's hard being a first time mom at 36 and having a full-time career. It's a interesting space being a mom and you get into all these mom groups and you're like, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm not like a 19-year-old mom that just like has a blue-collar husband. It's hard to kind of find your niche. So
Yeah.
we connected on an app for mom. We're both work in education. We're both, women of color that had a child later in life. Our sons are very close in age, and I had seen that, she was on the podcast with you guys. We've had many conversations and connected, and we realized that we had both had this experience of going to boarding school, and that was another kind of thing that kind of connected us. And
Yeah.
especially being a woman of color, finding another woman of color that went to boarding school that's not like maybe from a very, very affluent family
Right.
is a like once in a lifetime kind of opportunity.
Right.
So yeah, so that was really interesting. And I'm glad that we did connect and she connected me with you guys because this has been awesome.
Shout out to Rosalind.
Thank you, girl.
Munoz. So,
Mike. See you again next time.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really cool because I had told you her and I and a couple of other people met for a meeting at Gerard, and she had mentioned the school, and I don't think she mentioned you by name, but she had mentioned that she had talked to somebody who went to boarding school, and that you both realized after she was on the podcast. So I threw that little invite out, like, hey, we're looking for other people that went to boarding school, and then you messaged right away, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, let's get this going. So I'm so glad you messaged us because this is
Absolutely.
I love being educated on what's going on in other boarding schools. That's really cool.
So, especially since both of you are kind of in education too, do
Mhm.
you have like woman of color boarding school? Like, what's that like the conversation and vibe like when you get to talk to specifically another boarding school kid? Do you like instantly start doing the weird connections of, oh yeah, we had that, or oh no, we had nothing like that?
Yeah, kind of. And it's interesting because, and now learning more about, your experience, our experiences were very different. I have only really met people that had went to my same school. So
Right.
even learning about Girard College and the differences there is really kind of eye-opening and unique. And even, so the author Gloria Andalucia talks about living in borderlands, about how, when you have complex identities, you kind of like learn how to maneuver through like different areas. And I kind of feel that way as well. And talking to her and her experiences, and you kind of do learn that other people also share the same unique experiences, that they might not be identical, but you're not alone and there's other people out there. And I think that's strong, especially in the digital age, to know that exists. You don't have to feel like you're alienated. You don't have to feel like no one else knows what you're going through. There are people out there that are having the same experience, or, would like to have the same experience.
So we're getting close on time, but I just got off again. Shout out Ed Crawford. Thank you very much. Got off a cruise with about 26 people. Not all those people graduated from Girard, but they all are affiliated with Girard in a particular way. And it's been 30 years since we went to school together. Does your community, does Wyoming Seminary, do graduates of your class, do you guys get together, see each other, talk to each other?
So the Alumni Association is very strong. They keep trying to get me to come to a meet and greet. For me personally, there's very few people that I do get together with from Wyoming Seminary, just because as an adult, you kind of find your place in the world, and I don't necessarily want to get together with certain people. And then also with social media, you see what everybody's doing.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm curious what so-and-so is up to. Like I saw on Facebook that, they had a child and they got married. And so the people that I was close with in high school, and then even kind of developing stronger relationships outside of college, those people, like we went on a girls trip to New Hampshire not too long ago. Like I do get together with those people from around the country,
Okay,
but as
good.
far as like the whole class of 2007, like oh my God, we're coming up on our 20th year,
Yes.
20th year
Yes.
high
Oh,
school
please.
reunion. I personally,
I'm
we
a
do have
94.
different alumni chapters. So like there's an alumni chapter for Philadelphia. There's an alumni chapter for New York. I'm sure that other places have alumni chapters, especially because there a lot of international students go there. Students from around the country do attend there. I personally have not gone to like an alumni kind of meetup. In the future, I might, maybe as I get older and, I want to reconnect. But at this time, I personally haven't. But my people, I see my
Your
people.
Okay.
Exactly.
That really, I mean, because look, our class is 31 folks. It wasn't like the whole class came on a trip. It's probably, and of 12 boys, 4 of us was on the cruise. That's
Right.
it. So it's about a third of us. But as long as you got your people,
Right.
and I think that's the most important thing, because there is some benefit to like these people that you lived with for this period of time, and to be able to carry that relationship forward. And I'm happy to see that you do have that little taste, especially since you were not one of the lifers. You didn't come in second grade and go on forever. But knowing that connection still exists, even in a boarding school, you come a little bit later.
Right.
I think that's priceless,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we get together every year. Like we have a Founders Day weekend, and it's like a weekend. We golf, we party.
Don't be up in there.
No, but there's still a lot of people
Y'all
that
are
did that
local.
crazy.
I mean, people might have moved, but like
No, yeah, there's some people that fly in.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they do travel in. So some are local, but some are not. And it's really weird because we'll not see somebody for like 8-9 years, and then you revert right back to like 92, 93 when you're like 17, and first thing you do is look at what somebody's wearing, and then you crack on whatever it is, and then we laugh, and then we just get the thing going. So it was different. But then again, 6th grade, 2nd grade, you grew up with these people, so it was kind of huge. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to bring you back someday in the future, because we want to know more about Wyoming Seminary, and we want to know more about as your life as an educator and what you're bringing to Pennsauken, because John Martino is going to watch this and he's going to make a few phone calls.
Okay.
That's all good things, though.
Right.
Especially he knows that you're a boarding school kid.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for
Yeah,
joining
thank you.
us.
Absolutely. Thank you,
really
gentlemen.
appreciate
This is
that.
great.
Dan, it's been a great episode.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. I'm gonna send us out. So for everybody watching right now, I got my Sixers hat on. Here's an explanation. We signed
Come on, get this
LeBron James.
Nobody
So everybody cares. We all care. 41 years old, we don't care. Let's go, LeBron.
Nobody
The
cares.
king has come to Philadelphia. So anyway, I still got the Dorm Disorder merch. So even though Mike wore his cruise shirt,
The
hit us up.
love boat. Soon we'll be making another run.
She'll know what that is.
I know what the love that is.
Yeah, our
know
guests
the
don't
lo-
know what that is.
I know. My mom watches old. My mom's an immigrant, so they didn't have no cable. So
See,
she's not
grew up
that
on
old, but she
shit.
watches all the old stuff.
Give us
Um,
one more. Give us one more. I think I cut you off with my love boat.
Yeah, I was doing my Isaac, my little Isaac, the bartender.
No, it's
from
two
Love Boat.
hands.
Double point. Double point. We're going way back to double point. No, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much again for joining us and for filling us in and just your life and what it was like going to a boarding school. And I'm so glad that Rosalind was able to get us to connect.
Mhm.
So anybody else out there went to a boarding school, we're good hosts. We got a good spot. So,
We want to
come
hear
join
about
us.
you.
Yeah.
We want to hear about your school. We want to know about how it impacted your life and what it means to you today.
Mm-hmm.
Join us here on the Dorm Disorder Podcast. I was going to say the boarding school podcast.
Not yet.
The Dorm Disorder Podcast. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can sit here and talk about it. I think that there's a lot of folks that would love to hear your stories. So please join us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We end every episode the same way. It's about to be bedtime, peoples. Lights out.
Thank you for listening to the Dorm Disorder Podcast. Until next time, lights out.